1815, when York was the social capital of the North, and this street was planted with elm trees on both sides to create a fashionable promenade. Behind the wall there is an excellent view of the Minster. The central tower is 198 feet high, and for a small charge you can climb the 275 steps to the top. On a fine day, the views are the best in York. The Minster has the largest collection of medieval stained glass in England. The stonework at the East End is currently undergoing restoration. The Great East window took 4 years to paint and was completed in 1409. You will see the top of Monk Bar behind the shops on the right. Look right as we turn the corner for a better view. This is the tallest of the bars, standing 63 feet high. At the top you will see stone figures, ready to defend the bar by hurling boulders at anyone threatening the security of the city. These are known as the Wild Men of York. Monk Bar, like the other gateways, used to have just one narrow archway. The portcullis is the last one in working order. But the last time it was closed, in 1953, it took so long to open it again that nobody has dared to shut it since. As we leave Monk Bar and follow Monk Gate, look to the right. You will see the 18th century county hospital and several Georgian houses. Number 44 Monkgate House was the home of George Hudson, who was known as the Railway King, and whose aim, to back all railways on to York, made sure that the city became one of Britain's great railway centres. He was a popular Lord Mayor and also became a Member of Parliament for Sunderland. Unfortunately, his financial dealings were rather suspect, and he had to resign in disgrace. However, we don't bear grudges for too long, and he was forgiven. 120 years later, his portrait is now back in the Mansion House, and we've named a street after him. In Foss Bank, we follow the smaller of York's two rivers, the Foss. Its name probably comes from the Latin word for a ditch or stream. It looks rather unimpressive these days, but was once used as a commercial waterway. It was the River Foss which provided water for the city's defensive moat. This part of the city was the Jewish quarter up until the 12th century, and is known as Dewberry. In 1984, when the Sainsbury's store and car park were being built, hundreds of skeletons were unearthed, and it was realised that a Jewish burial ground existed here. The chief rabbi and other representatives of Britain's Jewish community performed a ceremony of reconsecration, and the bodies were left in peace where they were laid. We turn right at Layerthorpe Bridge. When this was being rebuilt in 1996, many remains were found, including part of an ancient wooden bridge. Of course, the work had to stop, and instead of taking 1 year, it took 2 years to complete the bridge. As we turn into Peasholm Green, you will see St Cuthbert's Church on the right. The church dates back to the early 13th century, and part of the stonework on the end wall is of Roman origin, but this is just a reuse of stone from another building. You will see a small door towards the right-hand end. This is known as the Devil's Door, and was opened during christening services to let the devil out. Further ahead on the right, just past the trees, is St Anthony's Hall, which is one of York's medieval guild halls. It dates from 1446 and housed the Guild of St Anthony, one of the most powerful organisations of medieval times. Looking to your left, the timber-framed building is the Black Swan Inn, which dates back to the 15th century, when it was built as a house for the Bowes family. In the 1600s, it was the home of the grandparents of General James Wolfe, who died winning control of Canada for Britain at the Battle of Quebec in 1759. The pub, known locally as the Mucky Duck, is of course haunted. The ghosts are said to be a grumpy old man who sits at the bar wearing a bowler hat, waiting for somebody to buy him a drink. A young lady who sits looking into the fire while brushing her hair, but nobody has ever seen her face. And a pair of legs which walk around the landlord's apartment. This brings us into Stonebow, and the nearest stop to the city centre shops. If you want to visit the Shambles, York's most famous old street, you should alight at this stop. Looking ahead as we wait at the Stonebow stop, you will see York's shortest street with the longest name, Whitnall-Watnagate. The name may refer to the whipping posts and stocks which stood nearby, or maybe the old name, Whitnall-Watnagate, means neither a whip nor what, knout or soot, as they say round here. Beyond it on the right is York's most photographed street, the Shambles. Its name comes from the old